Okay, so today I'm meeting with Lynn. She is a school nurse in Wake County Public Schools, and we've come up with a list of questions mutually that we think are relevant to this presentation. Lynn has been a school nurse for 8 years in the Wake County school system, and we were discussing if she feels like there is a disconnect between why she went into school nursing 8 years ago and what she's actually doing today.
Louise, I do feel there's a disconnect between when I started school nursing and where I'm at today. When I started school nursing, I was able to provide some classroom-type educational activities such as dental teaching. I did a walking program for the staff at Olive Chapel School where I'm at. I was also able to do some heart classes. I do feel like there was more of a health and wellness aspect of it when I first started. And at this point, it's just become more in-depth with case managing and care plans and just monitoring chronic illness in the classroom and making sure that the staff there is aware of how to take care of these kids. So I don't feel like I can do what I was doing at that time.
Okay, and so that brings me to the question of what is a typical week like for you?
Well, a typical week for me, I do serve 3 different schools, as it is with most of the nurses in Wake County. Some of us do actually have 4 schools that we serve. I do 2 elementary schools, and I also have a middle school that I serve. So typically, I just rotate through there weekly. I make sure that the staff is caring for the kids as I've trained them to do. I monitor any new cases of asthma, diabetes, any other illnesses that come in. The school nurses do all of the vision retrainings. We make sure that the kids have followed up on their vision care. So basically, I feel like at this point, I'm just kind of going in and fighting fires, and I'm not able to do what I feel like as a nurse that I have the potential to be able to do in the school.
So do you think school nurses are practicing to the full scope of their ability?
I don't here in Wake County because I don't feel like there are enough of us to do what we could potentially be doing. An example is I worked with a nurse early on when I started here in Wake County, and we were able to obtain some BMIs for some kids to try and touch on the kids that might have been predisposed to type 2 diabetes and get them referred out and plug them into different programs and things. But that program completely fizzled because we didn't have enough staff to be able to do something like that. But it would have been a great thing. So no, I don't feel like at this point we're able to work to our full potential. Okay.
Are school nurses the only health contact that you believe some students see in a year?
I do think that, especially in certain areas of Wake County. I do think that school nurses are the only contact, and unfortunately we are only in the school 1 to 2 days a week, so there's not even much contact there. But there are definitely certain nurses would tell you even more than I in my area of the county that they do feel like this is the only person that they do see for their health care needs.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, what would you say your biggest concern is on a daily basis as a school nurse in Wake County? And just to clarify, what would you say the ratio is? I think you said 1 to 2,500 approximately?
The ratio for us in Wake County is about 1 to 2,500 students, which anybody can probably say is very huge.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
There are many concerns that I have, but probably my biggest concern is ensuring that I have trained my staff adequately to care for students with chronic illnesses. They get just a little bit of training. I mean, all that we are able to do. They are not healthcare professionals. They did not go to school for this. So it is a little bit nerve-wracking making sure that they are properly trained, and we do monthly monitoring of certain things, and we have procedures in place. But that is my biggest concern, that something is going to happen in the school, in one of my schools, and I won't be there.
And we haven't discussed this, I know, but have you ever, and you don't have to give specifics, but can you think of an instance where an emergency situation or a medication situation didn't go well, and you think it's because there was a lack of understanding by the unlicensed person handling the healthcare need?
Unfortunately, I can think of more than one instance where that has happened. There was an instance where it was a very close call with a insulin administration that was being drawn up. which can be a delicate situation, and that we as nurses are very properly trained and double check with other nurses in the hospital before we administer insulin, in a needle and syringe from a vial, which is not something that they practice at the school. So that was a situation. And there's always emergency situations that happen in the school setting where a nurse being in every school would definitely be beneficial. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all your insight. And again, we appreciate everything that you're doing in the Wake County schools.
Thank you.